The scene begins with a man who has just woken up from his fainting. He seems to have just had an accident. Then he goes to look for help. After walking quite far, there is a car passing by. He waves his hand to ask for help. Instead of stopping, the car keeps going and almost hits him. When he stops, he checks the condition of the person inside, and it turns out that the person is already dead with white eyes. He doesn't know what caused it. Then he calls the police to ask for help. But when the police is asked his name, he doesn't answer at all and hangs up the phone. He doesn't remember anything about who he is. He must have amnesia from the accident. He checks his wallet and finds a driver's license with his picture on it. He can find out that his real identity is Liam Hartwell. Unexpectedly, a crow suddenly falls down. The bird's eyes are also white, just like the woman in the car. Afraid of something bad happening, he quickly leaves. In short, he arrives at a cafe and the same thing happens. He sees that everyone there is also dead mysteriously with the same characteristic: white eyes. He thinks that this is caused by a poisonous gas that spreads through the air. Therefore, he tries to cover his nose and mouth. According to the address on his driver's license, he finally arrives at his house. He seems to live there alone and has no family. After cleaning himself up, he sees someone outside. He warns them to go inside the house because there is a poisonous gas that can threaten their lives. But when the person approaches, their eyes suddenly turn white and they die on the spot. It seems like there is something that makes them die when they try to approach Liam. He realizes this oddity and does an experiment by approaching a crow in front of him. And sure enough, within a few meters radius, the bird dies and falls instantly. Finally, a fact is revealed. It turns out that the cause of all people dying mysteriously is himself. After having an accident, he got a supernatural ability that makes him able to kill people around him without any physical contact at all. Moreover, this can be done up to several meters radius. He doesn't know what caused it. To avoid more victims, he decides to lock himself in the back cottage of the house so he can stay away from everyone. At night, when he is sleeping, he hears something outside. There is a woman who wants to enter his house. The woman notices him and immediately approaches the cottage where he is hiding. Liam tells her to stay away because he doesn't want to kill her. But strangely, when the woman opened the door, nothing happened to her. The same goes for the dog that was near her. It seems that the ability is slowly disappearing. It turns out that the woman also lost her memory, just like Liam. And she also first woke up in the same place, which is at the location where Liam had the accident. That means they both met before and had an accident in the same place. The only thing she can remember is Liam's name. That's why she came here to meet him. Her purpose of coming here was to ask for Liam's help. Maybe he knew her, and maybe he could help her recover her memory. But unfortunately, Liam also had amnesia and didn't know her at all. In the midst of this confusion, Liam remembered something. At that time, he and the woman were in a place called Smithburg Oakdale. Maybe they could find a clue there. So they both went there right away. In short, they arrived there, and the place was a bridge. The woman remembered something. At that time, she and Liam were there, and she also threw away a piece of paper that seemed to be something important. Because they didn't find anything, they went to the next place, which was the accident location where they first woke up, hoping to find a clue there. When they got there, they saw a scorched land and formed a black circle. But after checking, it was not fire that caused it, but something else. That's when he vaguely remembered what happened there. At that time, there was a lightning that suddenly struck him, and maybe it had something to do with the ability he got. He told the woman about his ability, which was the cause of all people dying suddenly. But luckily, his ability had disappeared. The woman was very shocked. Even though Liam said his ability had disappeared, she was still afraid. Then she quickly ran away from Liam. When Liam was trying to chase her, unexpectedly there was a police officer who suddenly approached him and asked him some questions about his truck that they found at the accident site. Unexpectedly, when the woman ran away from them, the police suddenly fell dead. It turns out that his ability had not disappeared yet, but there was one oddity that Liam just realized. They went to a place where they did an experiment using a goat. When the woman moved away a few meters from Liam, the goat that was near Liam died on the spot. It turns out that the woman also had an ability similar to Liam's, but the difference was that her ability could deactivate Liam's ability. It can be concluded that if they are close to each other, the lives of people around Liam will not be threatened either. To find out the cause, Liam intended to have himself checked at the hospital. Even though it was very risky, he had to do it to stop this all. When he arrived at the hospital, Liam immediately scanned his brain. While waiting for the results to come out, they watched the news on television. In the broadcast, the police had just found a new clue about the mysterious death that befell the police officer that Liam and the woman had met this afternoon. The police officer who was calling her child turned out that her child had heard Liam's voice, and that led the police to come to his house. There they found the body of a man with white eyes, the same characteristic as the bodies of the people in the cafe at that time. With this, the police named Liam as the main suspect in the case of mysterious deaths that occurred in the area. After hearing that, they planned to leave immediately. But unfortunately, some police were already there. At the same time, one of the doctors who had scanned him came and told him that his brain condition was normal. There was no oddity or strangeness as suspected. At the same time, 2 police chased them both, but luckily they managed to escape from their pursuit. When they got near the elevator, the woman saw some posters about missing people, and it seemed like she remembered something. Because she was daydreaming too long, she was separated from Liam, who had entered the elevator, and that endangered the lives of the people inside. Although they were separated for a while, they finally met again and ran away from the hospital. When they got to a place, the woman told him about something she remembered. It turned out that the paper she threw away was a poster that showed that she was a missing person, and that made her very frustrated. But Liam tried to calm her down. Maybe she was tired right now, so her mind was very chaotic. Therefore, they both had to rest first. In short, morning came. Through the radio in her car, she heard a news broadcast about yesterday's incident. The police had suspected that she was involved with Liam and also revealed her real identity as Rose. It was also told directly by her husband himself, and he asked Rose to come home immediately. After hearing the broadcast, she intended to go to her husband's house with hope of getting a new clue about the accident that night. She invited Liam to go with her, and of course Liam didn't agree with it because he was afraid he could endanger the lives of people there. But after being persuaded, he finally understood too. According to the address in the phone book, they both arrived there and met Rose's husband, named Sam. Then Rose asked him to get in the car so she could give him an explanation about the situation they were experiencing. Although he initially refused, he finally agreed. When they got to a place, Liam showed his ability to Sam, and that made Sam surprised, and also believed that Liam was not a bad person, unlike what the police and the news media said. Then Sam took them both to his store. For now, they had to hide first while digging up information about the origin of their supernatural abilities that were still a mystery. While chatting together, Liam found a poster of a missing person that showed her picture of Rose. Not long after, Sam came and told Rose that the person in the poster was not her, but her twin sister named Lily, who had been missing for more than a year. Rose loved her sister very much. She was willing to make many posters so that her sister could be found quickly. She also remembered something. At that time, she was so frustrated that she intended to commit suicide. At that moment, Liam came to calm her down. After calming her down, Liam intended to take her home, and this is where they met for the first time. Meanwhile, Liam, who was alone, saw a picture, and that made him remember something. At that time, Liam said something to Rose. Liam said he had a place that was far from the crowd, a good place to clear his mind, and there was a road named Road 1E. After remembering that, Liam planned to go there with Rose, because there was the only place that was safe from the police chase, while Sam was needed here to be a mediator between the police and them so he could explain the real incident to the police, with hope that they all could understand. But Sam opposed it because he didn't want to let his wife go with a stranger. When Sam came back, he had done a stupid thing consciously. He called the police to come here quickly. Liam and Rose prepared to leave immediately, but unfortunately, the police had surrounded the place and managed to arrest them both. The police tried to separate Liam from Rose, which of course would activate Liam's ability if it happened. And sure enough, everyone within his reach instantly died on the spot. After that, Liam and Rose hurried away from there while Sam would stay here as a witness to explain everything. They stopped at a store where they watched a news broadcast that showed an unusual cosmic phenomenon. There was a flash of lightning from outer space that struck a place on the East Coast. It was not clear where it came from, but it could be certain that the lightning was the cause of them getting their abilities. After that, they continued their journey again. Unexpectedly, there was a car that followed them from behind. In short, they arrived at the place. There was a cottage that looked still decent to live in, and morning came without them realizing it. Because he was bored, Liam went out for a walk until he got to a lake. Meanwhile, Rose, who wanted to light the fireplace, found a box that contained a book with many posters of missing women, and one of them was Lily's missing poster, who was none other than her twin sister, who had been missing for more than a year. At the same time, Liam also remembered something very shocking, and this is where the truth began to unfold. It turned out that the cause of Lily's disappearance was Liam himself. He was the one who kidnapped her, and also killed her by throwing her alive into the lake. It can be concluded that Liam was a criminal who liked to kidnap young women, and it turned out that the next target was Rose, who was with him now. And the real incident on the night of the accident was also revealed. At that time, Liam tried to drug Rose, but because Rose resisted, it made the truck they were riding lose control and cause an accident. But they both survived. When they were outside, suddenly lightning struck them. That was what caused them both to get supernatural abilities. Liam, who remembered the incident, made him very shocked, as if he did not believe that he had done a cruel act that could not be forgiven. Not long after, Rose came and pointed a gun at him with a sad, mixed emotion. She intended to kill Liam right now, but she did not dare to do it. When they both returned, unexpectedly there were 3 people who came to catch them. One of them was a man who was in the store before. It didn't take long for Liam to kill them all very quickly, but unfortunately Rose got shot and got a serious wound. Quickly, Liam took her to the hospital, and after the nurses took Rose away, Liam shot himself in the head and died on the spot. It seemed like the lightning really changed his personality and felt guilty for what he had done. And the movie ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.